tweet out. All right, cool. Yeah, let's just make sure that we can hear ourselves.
Yeah, I just checked. We can hear ourselves on YouTube at least. So.
All right, sounds good. Cool. Well, we can go ahead and kick this off. Welcome everyone that's listening now or will be listening in the future. This is our May 2023 Dev Roundtable. In this call, we're going to be going over some of our recent achievements and milestones for this past month, talking about some of our recently announced partnerships and product integrations. We're going to be talking about some really important and exciting upcoming development roadmap items. That some of that involves additional Silk utility outside of Shade, and then we're going to be touching on the impact of the Shade meta engine at the end of this. So it's going to be a really good call, kind of touching on all the high-level details for what's been going on in Shade Protocol's ecosystem the past month. So to start this off, we want to cover some of our recent achievements and milestones this past month, and I'm going to hand this over to Mohammed to cover some of those high-level details.
Hello, everyone. So we're a little bit over a month at this point, basically launching Silk really since we've been live, and it's been like a journey really to see how the pools go live and all the people come in to like get Silk really. So it's exciting to see the growth and development. We see that from our community. We see this every day in our Discord. And one of the things we have achieved since launch is basically becoming the largest decentralized stablecoin in the cosmos. So exciting milestone to reach for the team as well as all the community members in the Shade DAO. So it's exciting to see where this is going to take us, what this is going to go. But this is just a starting point, right? Like we are continuing to grow. We're seeing exactly how this growth is going to hit and how in which parts you're going to be expanding into the next stages as well, right? So as a DAO, as Shade governance holders, you're going to see like this is the biggest milestone and achievement really. What is next really? One of the things we're looking and monitoring is the Shade ecosystem TVL, which has been consistently growing. Shade Swap has had like a little bit under 8 million in TVL locked in, but that's only like liquidity locked on Shade Swap. We don't even have metrics right now that we're tracking like all the Shade TVL locked in Shade Land, which we're working on right now. So you'll see like we have about $5 million worth of assets actually locked on our lend collateral. That's
6.2. Just
6.2. 6.2. That's the correct number. But yes, we have like the over collateralization model just working fine, perfectly. That basically has all these assets backing around 3.2 million, 3.3 million, I think, as we speak, amount of Silk in the market, really. So yeah, like we're seeing exciting growth on that front in capacity, and we're continuing to grow and expand the usage of Silk. Silk is in high demand. Our pools can attest to that. So it's exciting to see all of this working. And obviously, one of the things we had last was the Hack Secret hackathon that happened recently as well, which Red will give a little bit outlook on.
Yeah, this is a really cool event to see happening in Secret Network that included many of the most prominent projects within Secret Network. Hack Secret, I believe, went on for just over a month, and it ended, I believe, last week with the last of the live demos happening. And there were 7 final submissions for Shade Protocol's Hack Secret projects. A lot of those projects were focusing on off-chain services, liquidation bots, arbitrage bots, and arbitrage interfaces. And then we also had some users build some really, really interesting large-scale products. And so we're really excited to see how that development kind of transfers over after the hackathon into kind of integrating some of these products into Shade Protocol's ecosystem. But all in all, I think this was a really positive thing for Secret Network in general. Being able to attract builders to the network and be able to help individuals understand the power not only of the privacy preservation properties that Secret Smart Contracts offer, but also how that can be applied and some of the value propositions of that application into DeFi. So this previous hackathon was very DeFi focused, and obviously that benefits Shade as we are a DeFi ecosystem. And so over the next month or so, as we start to see some of these projects getting integrated, we'll have some really cool information to share with you guys about how that process has been happening. So outside of these, some of these high-level recent achievements and milestones for the ecosystem as a whole, we also had a bunch of new partnerships announced over this past month. We had a bunch of different product integrations happen, and so to kind of touch on some of the partnerships that we unveiled and some of the integrations of these partners' assets into our products, I'm going to hand it over to Fisco.
Awesome, thanks, Red. Yeah, we had a super busy month on the partnerships and integration side. So first off, a round of applause here for the dev team working on a lot of tedious integrations as we've been onboarding pretty consistently a bunch of partners over the last month. So first off, thanks to all the devs putting up with that. It was a busy month for everybody, but we're really excited to be working with now all of the major LSDs, liquid staking derivatives in the Cosmos, officially onboarding Stride, Persistence, Quicksilver, all in the last month here, and they're bringing incentives to ShadeSwap. We've seen really significant TVL and volume come into the exchange through those partnerships, and then the stable coins as well. Agoric with IST, Comdex with CMST, and a little bit of alpha. We've got Kujira coming on some pools at the end of the month here. So keep an eye out for that. That's a little alpha for those watching the dev roundtable here. But just super grateful for everyone in the Cosmos community coming out, participating in ShadeSwap, bringing incentives for pools and growing liquidity there. And then in lieu of that, we've got some cool things coming down the line for collateral for Silk as well. Now that we've got liquidity for all of those pools, and some other interesting partnerships coming down as well. So looking at if you're aware of any of the money markets or lending protocols in Cosmos, we're talking with them, and there's some stuff coming on that front. And obviously we've had some polls out on the Shade Twitter and in my own Twitter asking where people are interested in seeing Silk and what they're interested in seeing on the stable swap and Shade Swap here. So if you're interested in some alpha or curious about looking for the future of Shade partnerships, go find those threads, and there's a little bit of alpha on where we're headed for next steps. But we've been super grateful for the whole Cosmos community really coming out and participating in Shade Swap and Silk, and really excited to see what we can do for increasing Silk utility in the future and bringing more partners into Shade Swap as well.
Yeah, thank you, Fisco. That was a really good summary of everything that's been happening on our partner front. As far as product integrations, I want to turn it over to Christian, who's our engineering lead for Shade Protocol. So, Christian, do you mind detailing some of the product integrations that we've been able to incorporate over the past month?
Yeah, a lot of these are the result of the partnerships that Fisco's been talking about. I can run through it. It's been a pretty long list. Yeah, we had the injective pools coming out on ShadeSwap, leveraging our new concentrated liquidity for staking derivatives. We also had Quicksilver Atom and Persistence Atom, two other blue chip staking derivatives that leverage the same capital efficient liquidity curve. Just yesterday, we launched Atom and Osmo collateral on Lend. It hasn't been utilized yet, but those pools are out there so that if you want to be able to borrow Silk without being exposed to the potential risk associated with liquid staking derivatives, you can now borrow with just plain old Atom and Osmo. For the bridge, we had a pretty big launch. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday, and I can't remember. The days are blending together with all these launches. But we had a fee grant, which is a huge part of the shared user story. Essentially, with any network, when you're bridging in, you need gas on the native chain in order to actually use anything that's on that native chain. And a lot of chains their solution to this is doing things like having zero gas. Osmosis does this. In our case, though, we do have the feed grant module on Secret Network. So now when you bridge in and you don't have any secret, you can get free secret to swap some of the tokens that you bridge in for further gas. So that simplifies the user experience for anyone coming onto Secret massively. And that is it just came out. So if you haven't seen it yet, all you have to do is go to the website with no secret in your wallet. You can make a new wallet just to play with it yourself. We also have something coming out with being able to support Ethereum assets on the bridge. And I don't mean just being able to bridge things from Axelar. I mean directly bridging assets from Ethereum chains. It's going to be MetaMask support. You'll see more of that next week. That's a little bit of alpha. And then of course the last thing is that we launched the bonds for vSecret. So if you've been earning vSecret rewards due to the Secret Network liquidity campaign, you can convert that into stake secret on our bonds page.
Yeah, I agree, Christian, that sometimes the list is, it gets so long, it's hard to remember everything that's happened, especially with Lend and Swap literally just being over a month old. I know it feels like it's already been many months since Silk has been out there. But I appreciate you going over some of that stuff. So the next thing we want to touch on here is just some of the upcoming items that you guys are going to see us focusing on, specifically surrounding our development roadmap. And so that's going to include, new product launches, new features for existing products, expanding asset support. And so I'll hand this back over to Mo to detail that.
Yeah, it's exciting. And I do agree with the rest of the team, like things get blended too fast. So many crazy things happened. Even we actually had a Secret Network upgrade as well, actually, that happened on chain like 2 weeks ago at this point. Yeah, it's crazy. We had like a major upgrade go out for that, and we also had a security patch post that as well. So many things happening on the infrastructure side of things. Obviously, it's nice seeing Secret Network being improved slowly but surely to help support the Shade products and Shade DeFi applications, basically. But coming back to really, the development roadmap, which is the key excitement things, like what is next really for Shade protocol and Shade dApps really, right? There's a couple of products we have talked about really in like, the last like 3 weeks to a month pretty much. Hey, we want things coming out. And I think the biggest and the topmost that I think everybody on the team agrees is staking. So that's like the biggest thing. I know I'm waiting for myself, but staking is going live next week on testnet, guys. So you guys are going to see that. We would love for people to come in and obviously play around with the application, test it out, and gather feedback on that front. So we should see it live on testnet and very soon on mainnet after that. There's more than the staking under the cooks. There's another aspect things we're working on right now that is obviously related to our Silk utility and Shade lent walls. That's also something we're working towards and really getting the improved liquidation engine on that front working as well. So that's coming soon after staking as well. So that's something we're excited towards to the growth of Silk. But on the immediate side of things, really like to expand, we've seen like the extended demand on Silk, and we're seeing like how the Silk is always overpegged usually. So I know Christian and Corey are working on something called AMO. So look forward to that post soon. It's going to be coming out next week as well. That's going to be exciting. That's going to help work on like how Silk can be easily be workable in the Shade ecosystem really, and how you can get access to it at better prices. So exciting things coming on that front, and obviously excited to see Silk supply increase and people start seeing the utility of it. If you haven't already, not financial advice, but definitely go buy out some Silk because it's better than holding dollars and any type of stables and fiats. Expanding Shade Swap has also been something that we are working towards. So on our roadmap, really, we want to like increase the utility of shade swap. And one of the key focuses that's coming up soon, and I mean soon by very soon in a few weeks time frame, is we're going to have ETH support and ST ETH support coming in as well. So excited to see that. We're probably going to have PaxG and support from other stable coins as well coming soon from the Cosmos as well. So we should see DAI as well on our swap soon. Fingers crossed on that. So yeah, like pool expansion is coming. It is on the roadmap, on the immediate roadmap to release that. So you should see that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, basically going live as we speak. And another thing that we really are working towards is really having the aspect to support more users, and that's basically goes into the user experience story that Shade is trying to offer. That's mobile application. So we're going to be having soon mobile teasers coming out soon for the community. That's going to be out in a few weeks as well. So exciting to see people in our community have asked for access to application on mobile. So that's going to be coming out soon. And I'm excited for that myself because I have some usability. But yeah, that hopefully gives some alpha tease to all the things that are coming out soon, guys, on the Shade application roadmap and the development roadmap that we're targeting until the next roundtable. And it's exciting to see some of these things come to fruitions. Again, like staking is the biggest thing, guys, and I'm exciting. So please go ahead and next week, once it's live on testnet, we'll see some announcements. And please go ahead and test Shade staking. Also, the staking derivative, that's a D-Shade token, will be coming out with that. So yeah, exciting things. It's not just like, staking goes live and it's a staking. You will get some DeFi opportunities on that front. That's going to be exciting about it as well. So hopefully that wraps up like the roadmap items really here on what we're looking at, the growth of Shade protocol and the development roadmap. I'll give it back to Red here for the next section really on our front.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mohammed. Yeah, the staking is definitely the thing that people have been asking for the most, and really excited to get that out to people so they can finally start playing with it. The next thing I wanted to touch on involves upcoming Silk utility that's cross-chain. So, Silk leaving the secret network to go participate in DeFi elsewhere. And with that, I was hoping, Christian, could you touch on like some of the, the value that is going to come with the improved liquidation engine with V2 and how that's going to help us increase that cross-chain utility, for that Silk that's leaving, people who have those loans, how does that help that Silk actually leave the ecosystem a bit safer?
Yeah, the number one thing with expanding Silk's reach outside of secret network, it's when we're in a situation like we are now where Silk is trading above peg, that means that there is excess demand. So the current supply is not meeting that demand. So in order to actually expand beyond this point, we needed the ability to expand the supply more efficiently. So we could have partnerships with as many people as we want, but it's only going to make the problem worse. So improving liquidations is one of the most important things that is going to get us the ability to expand the supply. The reason is because the capital efficiency of borrowing Silk is very low. Because of the over-collateralization requirement, you have to put up a lot of value to actually take out an amount of Silk. And there are a number of risk factors that go into what the max LTV is on your loan. And one of them is the confidence in liquidations and how much we can liquidate. And so right now with Lend, it's very simple. If you are above a threshold, which I believe is 10,000 Silk, you get liquidated by half, and if you're below that threshold, you get liquidated entirely during a liquidation event. It's a simple way of doing a liquidation, but it's not the most efficient way. Effectively, we're liquidating more than we have to, which means that there is a greater burden on the stability pool to actually fund those liquidations. So with Lend V2, one of the things that we're doing is only liquidating what we need in order to bring your position back to a level of risk that the protocol is willing to accept. And in doing so, we greatly reduce the burden on the stability pool, means with any given amount of silk in the stability pool, we can support a larger amount of debt in the system. And as a result, we can up the LTVs considerably. And by doing so, borrowing becomes more capital efficient and it becomes easier for the supply of silk to expand. There's a couple of other really nice features that we're going to include with Lend V2. One of them is the ability to automatically sell the rewards in the earn pool on ShadeSwap for silk. So right now, if you're in the earn pool, when a liquidation happens, you get rewards in the form of discounted collateral. But you then have to claim those rewards and sell them. So obviously, if you let those rewards sit there while the price goes down, you could end up at a point where your collateral that was liquidated is worth less than the silk that you lost. It's an undesirable situation. And in this case, we have enough liquidity on ShadeSwap to automatically sell those rewards for more silk, which that would allow the earn pool to be much more like a savings account rather than what it currently is, where you're earning this portfolio of rewards. You would really just see your silk balance go up in this case. So much better user experience, much more seamless, and that should also attract more inflows into the stability pool, and it also gives you something to do with your silk that is less taxing on your brain, let's say. And the last really nice feature is the ability to auto repay your loans after they hit a certain threshold. So right now, if you have a loan out and you go to sleep and the market goes down while you're sleeping, you don't have the opportunity to repay your loan. And if the market is going down slowly, if you were awake, maybe you could actually buy some collateral and top up your position, pay off some debt, something like that. But now in this case, what we're going to do is you can set a threshold on your position, let's say 50% LTV. And if you have silk in the earn pool and your position goes above that threshold, you can choose to opt in and it will pay down some of your debt out of the earn pool. So you're not earning any rewards, but you're securing your position, making sure you won't get liquidated in your sleep. So that is the full feature set that we are looking to include in Lend V2. And all of that is tied into making it easier for the silk supply to expand by increasing confidence in liquidations.
Yeah, it's exciting to see the Shade Lend V2 model coming to fruition. And like we said, like it's going to come out soon. So we're excited to see the silk money market increase. And this comes to like the other aspect is really how we're looking to get silk externally to ShadeSwap as well, really, right? So one of the things we are looking and working with, they have active partnerships with Kujira coming soon, where we're looking to get silk integrated on their platform. We also have an ongoing or upcoming, I would say, partnership with Umi as well. Still to be decided on exactly where silk will be used, but expect some cool things coming out with silk utility on Umi money markets as well. And if you have not already seen, Cora actually posted a whole thread on like osmosis governance, so go give that a thumbs up if you guys are interested in seeing silk on osmosis as well. So we're excited to get silk utility to other money markets in the wider Cosmos ecosystem. That's going to be an outreach and growth opportunities here on this front. And we are going to excitedly see silk utility come to multiple aspects in the Cosmos ecosystem. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a whole idea of like silk expansion and silk utility coming soon to Shade protocol and Shade as a DAO.
Yeah, and the last thing to really kind of tie all of these different development pieces, all these achievements, these are great achievements kind of in the moment, but obviously Shade Protocol has a much longer term vision than just what's going on in the short or medium term. And the way that we kind of integrate the success of all of these different applications that we've been talking about, all of this growth in TVL, all this growth in volume, in fees, the way that we kind of materialize that and are able to visualize that impact is kind of laid out in the Shade Protocol meta engine. And so before I talk about this, if you haven't read Shade Protocol's most recent blog post about the meta engine and basically why it's so important, highly suggest you do that. You can just search Shade Protocol blog and it should be, I believe it's the most recent blog post that we put out, or the second most recent blog post that we put out. But for anyone who isn't aware of it or just vaguely familiar with what it is, I'll kind of break it down into really simple terms. That blog post really outlines two major things. The first thing that it outlines are the tools that Shade Protocol has at its disposal to leverage protocol growth and sustainability in the future as a result of its interwoven and interconnected design. You know, that interconnected, interwoven design, this simplified and unified user experience through this single governance token allows the protocol to kind of multiply and leverage the impact of every dollar of TVL and activity within our ecosystem. So that's the first part. It outlines the tools and how that actually happens. The second part, and you know, equally as critical of a piece, is how the protocol can actually materialize that growth in a way that both benefits the protocol and the end users, which includes the token holders. So TLDR is the current mechanisms, growth mechanisms that the protocol has at its disposal to leverage to turn fee streams into something that can help create a sustainable protocol growth, is turning fee streams into protocol-owned liquidity, buyback and burn or redistribute for Shade and Silk, staking rewards, the acquisition of yield-bearing assets, and the basically subsidizing of smart contract gas costs for different operations to improve UI UX. And so where we've really seen the most discussion thus far is surrounding the actual implementation of the fee allocations and what is to be prioritized or what should be prioritized in the short term versus medium term versus long term. And I just want to say, from my perspective and many of the team members' perspective, it's been great to see so much of the community so passionate about wanting to ensure the longevity of the protocol, even from the start. You know, obviously some people want to take a more aggressive growth-minded approach. Some people want to be very conservative with how we do this and, you know, make sure we're trying to support ourselves sustainably from hour one, day one. So we want to continue encouraging individuals to provide their feedback on how we can best implement some of these key moving pieces within the meta engine. And the first thing that really kind of kicks off the start, so to speak, of the meta engine is going to be the release of Shade Staking, which Mo alluded to earlier. Shade Staking is going to be on public testnet next week, and we're looking to get that to mainnet soon after that. And so once staking goes live, that'll kind of be the kickstart of the Shade meta engine. All of these applications, Silk, Shade Lend, Shade Swap, bonds, staking derivatives, they're all generating fee streams for the protocol. And so the introduction of staking is going to start helping those fee streams become a bit more cohesive and allow the protocol and token holders to be able to directly benefit from that growth themselves. And so with that, I think we are about ready to close it up. If there's anyone on the team who has any other comments or anything they'd like to say about this past month and any of the achievements and goals we had, feel free to speak now. It's okay if you don't have anything to say. Yeah, with that, I just want to state development in progress isn't stopping. We're going to be continually shipping over the coming months, and we're excited to have everyone who's here now continue this journey with us, and we're excited to see our community continuing to expand. This is going to be, you know, we said this last month, we're probably going to say it next month, but we're in a really, really exciting time for Shade Protocol. We're just a month out of Shade Swap and Silk being launched, so you can only imagine the growth that is to come in the next couple months. So as always, thank you all for joining us, team members, anyone watching, and hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And as always, there is always room in the shade. Hope everyone has a good day.